Full body sound was a device that you can actually wear that gives you little like not shock, like shocks, small shocks, but like more like buzzes on your skin so you can actually feel the beat. And then the what was the floor
Feel the
one?
beat. Feel the
Yeah,
beat.
literally feel the
Yeah.
beat.
Yeah.
Feel the beat is a vibrating dance floor that goes to the music.
There was an individual who came to Shine, and she said, and I can say it word for word because it was what got me through. It was, "Thank you for giving me the gift of a music festival that I could navigate on my terms and my timing. And it's the first time I've ever been able to do this without the need of a sighted person." And I was like, there it is.
Secret time.
Secret. Shh. Okay.
This is terrible. I am
Oh,
married to
no.
someone who doesn't like the Beatles.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, quick question before we get started. Would you like to win a free piece of clothing from Snowman Films and a 30-minute chat about your creative journey with me? I know that I would love to connect with you, and I know that I would have loved to talk with somebody who had experienced a similar path when I was getting started. So let's make it happen. Here's what you need to do. Subscribe to the Conversations with Creators podcast, rate and review, and share it in just 5 easy steps. First, write a review on your preferred podcasting platform and rate it. 5 stars for good karma. Then, screenshot your review and share it on social media, tagging Snowman Films. Each month, I'll select one random winner to receive a free piece of clothing from our store and a 30-minute virtual coaching call with me. Again, subscribe, write a review, rate the show, screenshot that review, share it on social media tagging Snowman Films, and get entered into a drawing for that one-on-one virtual session with me and some free swag. Thank you so much for taking the time to leave me a review. I really appreciate you, and I'm excited to see you in our one-on-one virtual call soon. Now, let's dive into today's episode. So the big question is this: how are creators like us, who aren't built for the 9-to-5, for the people who put their passion before them being comfortable, how do we turn that passion into a living that pays the bills and a life that we love? That is the question. This podcast will give you the answers. My name is Noah Mittman, and welcome to Conversations with Creators.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Conversations with Creators. I am your host, Noah Mittman. I am a filmmaker. I'm a podcaster. I am a whole bunch of things. Clothing line designer. And my guest today is Shawn Satterfield. She is the founder of Shine Music and the genius mind behind Shine Music Festival, also creates high-end websites. Total creative badass. Shawn, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Noah. Congratulations on all this. Boy, you've been with me through the whole ride. We've
I
been
know.
with each other through
I know.
this whole ride.
I was in the room when. So first of all, for context for our audience who have no idea what we're talking about that are around the world, tell me.
I mean, everybody knows who I am. What are you talking about?
Tell me what Shine Music and Shine Music Festival is about.
Yeah, absolutely. So Shine Music is a 501c3 nonprofit that raises awareness for inclusion and accessibility through our annual Shine Music Festival that happens here in Denver. And what I mean by that, where it's a universally designed music festival, which actually Guinness Book of World Records spent a significant amount of time researching, thinking there was no way that was true, and came back and said, "Oh, you're absolutely right. Nothing like this has happened anywhere in the world."
When you choose a niche enough thing, you can get a world record for pretty much anything.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
And so, so the Shine Music Festival basically takes all the staples of a typical music festival, and combines it with comprehensive accessibility plans and cutting edge technology that allows us to remove the typical barriers that an ADA section provides. And I'm going to be blunt about it. If there was anybody other than humans in those ADA sections, they would be referred to as cages. So, I mean, if there's a fence that prevents you from coming out and me from going in, that's a cage. You don't like saying that.
Have you been in the ADA cage yet?
Yeah, I'm in the cage over in the ADA section. And so, that's my thing. I love live music. I'm coming in on like 1,000 different concerts at this point. It's in the 900s for sure. And
You got to have a
I
big
just,
party for your 1,000th concert if you can.
I know, right? I know. I've had a lot of hundredths for like certain bands I've seen over 100 times, and
Oh my
that's always a
God.
lot of fun.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
My
I'm so
latest one
jealous.
was at Red Rocks. Was it last year? Yeah, I think Red Rocks last year was my 100th show at Humphreys at Red Rocks, and I got
That's so
and they
crazy.
actually did the shout out through my kid. So that was like, our friend Colvin's mom's here, and I was like, that's not. That's not a shout out.
Yeah,
But
you're the
anyway,
my
yeah.
friend's mom's
So
roommate is here.
yeah, exactly. Oh, and her name is Shawn.
Right. Well,
But yeah,
speaking of Red Rocks, what? So I mean, yeah, you're the Red Rocks goat in my opinion. You're always there.
it's
What
my
is
sanctuary.
I was gonna say, like, what is so sacred to you about live music and live performances?
It's the community. It's the community. And I don't know that I would have been able to answer that so quickly if before 2020.
Hmm.
Because, you know, a lot of the bands I love, well, and just bands in general were doing a lot of the virtual stuff. And so it wasn't like I couldn't listen to music. Um, but I wasn't with, not only was I not with my people, but it's the new people, you
Yeah.
know, and that's why that's why Shine Music is about, or our cause is facilitated through live music, because it's the platform that gives you this common ground of, you know, I can have a great conversation with the guy sitting next to me at Iron Maiden, or the guy sitting next to me at, you know, at All J, you know, so it's the same, it doesn't matter. It gives you this kind of common ground and where nothing else matters, right? We're all there sharing in that collective experience. And I know you've heard me say it before, the magic bubble, right?
What is the magic bubble?
Magic bubble is when the energy from the crowd and the energy from the stage connect, and it's palatable. You can feel it, the energy, you know, when it hits, you know, when that magic bubble happens, because suddenly you get goosebumps and the hair on the back of your neck stands up and you're just smiling, and it's like the band is like, they're starting to amp up, and it's just we all feel it at the same time. And that collective community, that energy is my happy place.
Yeah.
Is what means everything to me.
Well, I mean, I think it makes you be so much in the moment, and like you're not, when it really hits like that, you're not anywhere else. You're not thinking about stress. You're not, and everything else melts away. That's why live music is so addicting and why it's the best thing ever. I mean, it's part of why I think Red Rocks is the best venue in the world. I haven't been to a bad show there. Like,
no, I mean, no matter what. I mean, even if it's not that awesome of music, the sound quality is great, and you're in a beautiful venue, and yeah, it's just awesome. And it's just, but you're right. I think that, you know, I live a pretty high stress life, and it's the only place where I can 100% say that when I'm at a concert, I am not thinking about the balance in my checking account,
Right.
or the huge list of to do on either one of my companies. Right? It's like it's just freeing, and I start feeling, I'm thankfully a very mentally healthy person. I think, for the most part.
Yeah, we all are.
That's arguable. Probably some people maybe maybe a little bit crazy, but it's when I'm not there, when I don't have it, when I like 2020 not having, I went from seeing 51 concerts in 2019 to none.
Oh my God.
And well, it's not true. I saw 2 concerts before the world shut down. So
You're going to at least one a week.
Oh yeah. Well, and some of those are like, you know, Jazz Fest, you're getting
Right.
3 days in, and yeah, there are definitely the multiple day events that help tick that up there. But 2019 was a solid year for me. I think it was the most I've ever seen, 51
That's awesome.
concerts.
What autograph were you most excited to see in the famous Red Rocks tunnel?
Ooh.
There's a ton down there.
There are. And you know, every time I go down there, I find new ones.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Right?
of course.
And so, you know, I think the last time I was there, I saw like Ween, or I saw, I never know who I'm going to find, and I could never refine them. I could never go, oh, that's what that is, So it's kind of
The one I think you can, because it's just so big, is Tenacious D.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. I totally forgot. Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
That's for anybody
If
who's
you're
ever,
able to get in the tunnel.
yeah, and you can sign that wall. Just
Mhm.
make it big enough that no matter
Exactly.
what, it stands out. Yeah, and there were like boognishes and stuff. I think that's why I think someone just has been doodling boognishes for Ween all over the tunnel, so I found them everywhere. But yeah, I mean, I know I've got pictures pointing at certain ones and stuff.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
it's a cool spot if you can make it to it.
yeah, and I think the interesting fact that Red Rocks holds, that a lot of people don't know, is, do you know that Red Rocks was the only place that the Beatles did not sell out in the United States because people thought it was too far away?
Well, at that time, how built out was called, like, was gold? I mean, I'm assuming Golden was
Yeah.
a town and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
it had to have been. Yeah, it's not that.
There wasn't that long ago.
There were cars. They were
Yeah,
riding
yeah.
on horse and buggy. I mean,
I wonder how hard
Beatles
the
flew here on a
road was to get
plane.
there, though.
Come on.
I don't know.
Let's be honest. I mean,
If
at the-
anybody, I'd interested. Anybody in the comments of this knows why, like, what shape Red Rocks was in around that time. I'd be super, because no, I mean, but again, like the Red Rocks just had everyone.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know I would love to talk. We all have. Well, if you're into, we all have something, whether it's music that you missed out on, but that thing where you went, oh, that was a big mistake.
Yeah.
My big music mistake was that I had tickets to Led Zeppelin in London, and I was everything was really expensive. I don't know what it was. Honestly, I think it was just this, oh, they're totally going to come to the United States. They're not just going to play one show.
Yeah.
And, when you added up all that and, all the cost involved for whatever reason. I mean, now I look at it, I'm like, if it was $10,000, I should have went. Like,
Right.
what were you thinking? But that's my big duh. Well,
We saw, and this was a, like, should we do it? Of course we should do it. Just say fuck it and go. We saw Metallica at Mile High.
Oh, yeah.
It's Grayson's first concert. And he was asleep the whole time, and we were like nosebleeds, but it was like cheaper than we expected. I was like, oh my God, we're gonna have to spend like $100 a ticket, but it was awesome. It was like $30-$40, something like that. And
Yeah.
it was really happy we did. Autumn still has yet to see her first concert, but we're gonna make that happen this summer.
Colvin's first concert was Barry Manilow.
Nice. We're talking about our children here, by the way.
Yeah. He was not. He doesn't really care, but he was just a little baby, and it's all of us moms, and I'm old. I'm just, oh, Mandy, just everybody's singing.
So this is all talking about going to concerts. You have put on now 2 concerts, 2 years. What did you learn between year 1 and year 2 of Shine?
Number one, if people aren't aligned, whether that's your team, whether that's your partners, your sponsors, your crew, it is not going to work. Or it's going to take an extreme amount of effort to make it work. Everything that didn't work with our first year was all about alignment.
Yeah.
And we were terrified. I mean, we had never done it before. We were having 11 bands on 2 stages, and we were all volunteers winging it.
It was a wild day.
Well,
that was a wild year. I mean, because you're this,
Yeah, it was supposed to
I showed
happen
up
in 2020.
film on the day, and
Yeah.
you've been planning this thing for a year.
Actually started planning it in 2019 and was supposed to have it in 2020.
Yeah,
And
true.
then we postponed it to 2021, thinking, oh, surely this COVID thing will be over by then. And we just, we did it though. And it was amazing. That was the day. Remember, Denver we had the worst air quality in the world. We beat
Yep.
Beijing that day. Oh my gosh.
If it can go wrong, it will go wrong, especially
man.
for live events.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's funny too, because we were praying for no rain because it's a
It was
completely out, and
101.
then it was so hot and the air quality was terrible. So it was almost as bad as rain.
Yeah. I think I would have taken some rain to like knock down some of that
Right.
pollutant, right?
No, I remember
Uh,
not being able to see the mountains from the city in Denver, which is like not a thing that happens.
No. Well, and I was so just crazy that day that
Yeah.
I didn't
Walk
even
me through it.
notice it until I looked at all of the footage and went, "Oh my gosh." Like I was breathing that. I just remember one of the headliner, like the guy looked at his Apple Watch and it had this whole like warning air quality thing. And I was like, I don't care what your Apple Watch says. Get out there and sing. like like I don't care. But yeah, it was but you know what, Noah, at the end of it, then there was an individual who came to Shine, and she said, and I can say it word for word because it was what got me through, and it's what carried me through to this day even. It was, thank you for giving me the gift of a music festival that I could navigate on my terms and my timing. And it's the first time I've ever been able to do this without the need of a sighted person.
Mm.
And I was like, there it is, right?
Yeah.
That, and then this year in 2022, someone said that Nigel was interviewing, and she quoted Bethany. It said, the individual, the surfer who had lost her arm.
Yeah.
She said, we don't need it to be made easy. We just need it to be made possible. And that's what Shine has always been about. It's about not, just can we level the playing field as much as we can to allow people to navigate it on their terms without us telling them how to enjoy the day, and just make it possible. That's it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. I mean, even it's impossible to meet the needs of absolutely everyone.
It's because perfect doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but we learn and we grow, and I think that that we've accomplished it,
Yeah.
I mean, and now this is the big year, right? This is, I don't know if you know this yet, but 30%, yeah, well, 30% of last year's attendees had visible disabilities, meaning that we didn't ask people if they had a disability, but we had people at the, entrances. And if someone was in a wheelchair or using assistive devices, they checked it. And we had 4,800 people, and 30% of them had visible disabilities. So I'm like, we did it. We've
I mean, to be fair, that definitely sounds like a world record to me.
Yeah. But now we just need to get, and this is where the great conversation comes in with content, right? In that, the first year we called it a radically accessible, live music event. And everybody thought it was only for people with disabilities.
Yeah.
And then the second year we changed it to universally designed. And still, able-bodied, non-disabled individuals still thought it was only for people with disabilities. And, no, and
it's like part of me is like, you can't fix stupid, and the other part of me is like, okay, that's a marketing, like we have to like like it is on us.
Yeah.
Because I'm like the videographer, editor, part of the team for this music festival, and like, yeah, you have to. It's the market that we have the response that we got, so we need to figure out. And I think again, Nigel, who's previously been on the show, said it perfectly. Like, we need to have it be marketed as a dope ass music festival that happens to be accessible.
Yep.
So we switched it basically. We need to switch the language, which I know is kind of a hit on the chin, but no, it's if we want people there, but imagine if we can flip it and we still get 30 or 40%.
Yeah. And I feel like that we're there, right? I feel like we have the relationship with the communities, but what happens from written content is that no one's going to read it, right? We're seeing, have you noticed that on LinkedIn lately, that it's like there's a one-line sentence and then you have to expand it and it's like a 10-minute read. you're like, okay. And no matter, and obviously the title.
Like, oh, you got me.
Yeah, like the first sentence like got me
Has to be
into
the
it.
best
And then I looked at it and I'm like, well, I am not reading all of that. Like, that's too much content.
Why video is what it is.
100%. And I can have, I can have a conversation with someone and in 10 seconds, express what Shine is and they get it. But from a written content perspective, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So video has become, essential in really kind of conveying. And when you go and you look at the videos, right? Nigel just created that awesome 30-second blip and commercial and a lot of your footage, by the way.
I know, I was really happy.
It was so good.
I was like, that's right. When I'm wandering around with a glide cam, I make good shit.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing. And you look at it, you're like, oh my gosh, that looks totally fun. And it's not, and you start, it's kind of interesting because it happens so fast. It's in 30 seconds. This is what's amazing about it. All you see are people. All you see are people having a great time at a music festival. You don't see people with disabilities and you don't see able-bodied. You just see people.
Just people, right?
It happened. And it's like, so that,
which is the
to
point
me,
of it.
I thought, I really thought that captured the essence of Shine, right?
And I love it. Like, it's a good time, and it's always going to be like it is accessible. It like, period. Like what accessible means to me, from my experience of it, is just an open floor that, you just have an easy access place where everybody can get in there and have a good time and dance. And then, so that is built in inherently with it. So when you market it like a music festival and then people show up and they can get around, I think that's what I'm happy is that we're figuring this out, like, in its infancy, and 2 years in, like, Ultra Miami's 15, 20 years in, like, we're, we can get to that level eventually, but like, we figured out already, like, how to do it, which is the biggest hurdle.
Yeah, we're ready to go. And
you're being a consultant now for other venues, right? Like, tell me about that.
Well, I mean, we have, not to the point where it's official, right? I mean, I've had conversations with, the indoor venues are a whole nother ball game, right? You've got a lot of cost involved from
ramps and stuff.
Yeah, and that, but what's interesting is a lot of people only think about ADA from mobility. Just because you're a venue and maybe it's a 100-year-old venue and it's not accessible, well, it doesn't mean you can't have devices like, full body sound or something like that in there that allows individuals who are deaf or who are blind or, neurodiverse, you name it, right? There's things you can do. We
had some really, really cool vendors. Like, so yeah, full body sound was a device that you can actually wear that gives you little, like, not shocks, small shocks, but like more like buzzes on your skin so you can actually feel the beat. And then what was the floor?
Feel the beat. Feel the beat.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Feel the Beat is a vibrating dance floor that goes to the music, and it's one of the if definitely want to plug them because that was the coolest. Like, just standing on it, like, you feel it and you can totally experience it if you are hard of hearing or whatever. It's cool for me who has all my senses. Like, it was just a cool experience.
It is. And people in wheelchairs can even pull up on it and feel it. So it's really, that's a huge hit, right? I mean, that is something that is really, and I loved watching people lay on it with their babies and kids and stuff. And I remember when Colvin and I met, Full Body Sound came over to Feel the Beat studio. And so we had the bone conducting oscillator dance floor with the full body sound device on. Oh, that was a lot. It was pretty amazing though. Yeah. And I'm really excited. I have this new technology and I'm waiting to get the glasses so we can test it out because it's never been tested in a concert environment. But have you heard of X-ray? It's XRAI glasses. And closed captioning comes across the bottom of the glasses.
Oh my God. So it's like,
No, I know.
AR glasses that, wow.
So you're like looking, so you can look at the stage, or I could be talking to you, right? And
That's
closed captioning is coming across
crazy.
the glasses. Yeah.
Technology is
So
awesome.
there's a lot. I mean, yeah, sub packs. Coldplay has crushed. They're the first. They started this initiative in February 2022 when Dakota gave Chris Martin's partner Dakota gave him a sub pack for his birthday, and sub packs are those like vests that vibrate through whole body sound, but they're the best. They're really, really expensive.
We're straight
really
going
expensive.
into Ready Player One.
Yeah. I mean, they're like, when Chris Martin says something's expensive, it's expensive. So,
Yeah.
and I think they have like 10 or 20 now, but he handed it off to one of his staff and said, "Hey, I want to integrate this in." Nick's, this was like 10 days before their tour started, their Music of Spheres tour started, and they were sold out.
Wow.
And you know what? They instantly activated. They have an ASL interpreter. All their staff and everybody's learning sign language. And if you watch Chris, if you are even like he was on Saturday Night Live like a month ago, and the interpreter was standing right next to him. So part of the band said that off. Yeah.
The side is like it's like part of the performance.
Part of the band. Yeah.
Which is
awesome.
That's not a thing right now. That needs to be more of it.
Oh, it is for us now. I've decided. I am not doing I'm not doing on the side.
Well, no, I mean that's totally like that's immersive. That is it. That's like it's not that it's not being proud of it when it's off to the side, but it's like when you can incorporate that, that's the next level. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I was like, that was it. I'm like, and I get it, because if you're if you need an ASL interpreter, you're watching them and you're missing, and like someone like Coldplay that
is different.
Oh, I mean, their whole stage environment isn't crazy, and you don't want to be distracted from that. You want to look at the stage. And so,
well, I mean, with the interpreters that we had, like they're so into it, like it's cool because that can become kind of a new performance category, is like a dancing ASL person.
Yeah. Oh, we've seen that. I mean, that's been there's some ones out there that really crush.
And they're viral.
yeah.
But no, they deserve to be part of the performance, 100%.
Yeah, they do, and that's
better than a hype man. I'll tell you that shit. That should ruin a performance. So oh my God, I was at EDC many years ago, and one of my favorite artists, I think it was some dubstep band, but they had a hype guy that would not shut the fuck up the whole show, and I literally had to leave. I was like, I'm so mad right now.
Yeah, no, I have definitely had that experience, and you're just like, oh man, this is
they keep interrupting. But this can add. I mean, this is literally just adds to it. It's perfect.
It's part of it. And if Nigel actually interviewed, I think it was, or maybe it was you, interviewed the one of the ASL interpreters from Shine last year.
Oh, nice.
And she talked about, that's why for all those bands out there, when they ask you for your lyrics ahead of time,
there's a reason.
There's a reason, because they don't just familiarize themselves with the song. They actually what they listen to,
the energy,
because it's it's not just the hand signals, it's the facial expressions and the body movement, and so they're not just standing there and just signing it. They're moving with the music. And so, they're very much part of the band.
That's so crazy, because it didn't even occur to me, and this is, again, just part of this whole conversation of like being aware of stuff, that with the ASL interpreter being off to the side, you can't watch the concert if you're trying to understand what they're saying. Like, it literally, unless you have the perfect seat for seeing it behind it, but you're still not focusing on it.
No, I mean, most of them are on the side of the stage.
Yeah.
So you're in front. There's no way to be on this, you'd have to be on the side of them, then looking back.
Right.
You're still on the side.
No.
So, Ween, which, granted that there may be people who go, okay, she likes Ween, there's something wrong with her. And that's why I love them. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's arguable. There's a lot of people who say, and they're not, they're a rock band. I mean, and they are a rock show. But it's a weird, we know there's like only a few of us when you look at the scope of the whole universe of all of us humans. There's a very small percentage of us that have this weird little DNA kink that makes us go, that is my jam. And I love them. I can't get enough.
Okay, I grew up in musical theater, and that's same. Like, if you're into musicals, like my wife can't stand them.
Oh, neither can my husband.
Yeah. And I'm like, listen, I'm gonna watch In the Heights when you're not here. Like, I'm gonna jam out, but like she can't do it. The one I will say, the one that broke through for her, which I am so happy about, is Greatest Showman.
Oh,
The music's just
so she didn't even like
good.
What was the universe? The Beatles?
She
like how
secret. Okay, I'm gonna steal this. I'm gonna steal this from Bert Kreischer. Secret time.
Secret. Okay.
This is terrible. Oh God.
I love. So if anybody can see it, he's hesitating.
I am married to someone who doesn't like the Beatles.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm married.
I'm not proud of it, but I love her, and she likes some of the music, but like, I don't know, like arguably the greatest band of all time, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. So
well,
don't cancel me, internet. Still watch the show, please.
Well, I'll
not my decision, my wife's.
Yeah. My husband doesn't he doesn't like fish except for studio fish.
Which is right, it's like totally different.
Like no one. When I tell my people that, they're like, they have albums? Like
they have albums. No, 100%. Because no, my neighbor was watching. He was like, we were playing ping pong in his garage, and he just had a YouTube fish concert up, like playing. Like, you don't listen to the out. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
No one listens to, and it's like, oh, so you like.
To be fair, I don't really listen to fish, but I can understand. It's a live experience. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 20-minute song versus a 7-minute song. But
it's great for road trips.
It's great for road trips. You lose track of where you're at. Like, is this the same song I was listening to an hour ago? I think so. Yeah. He when I met him, he made some kind of fish reference. I went, ooh, maybe that's pretty obscure fish reference. He must like them. And then the first time I was at his house, then there was he's a musician. So he has a songbook that he's been, forever, and it's ancient and beaten up. And there's like a fish sticker on it. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, he likes fish. And he goes, I go, oh, you like fish? He goes, oh, I did until I heard him live. And I went, that is, just don't admit that, dude. Let's just forget that.
That's like watching Avatar on your phone and then seeing it in the theater and being like, this is too much.
Yeah, that's exactly. He likes them in little packaged, tight-knit bundles. Don't let them go. Don't let their freak.
That's okay. You're missing the entire point of this.
Yeah, but he does. This is what's really crazy is, and I thought he was going to hate it, but I took him to Goose this year, and all of a sudden he was standing behind me and he clapped like mid-song, and I went, what? And I look, and he is beaming, and he's like, this is amazing. I'm like, that's Back on the Train by Fish. Like, what are you talking about? That is a Fish cover.
He's just circling around it. He's circling around it.
And so it's really weird, and I didn't know how, and he was just like, I even actually had to record him, because he's like, oh my gosh, Shawn, you might have broke me. You might have done it. This is it. I like Goose. And I'm like, you like Goose, but you don't like Fish. And they sound exactly, they literally have ripped off every Fish song out there. I do like Goose, but it's because I can't say that I don't like Goose and when I like Fish, because it's the same thing. But yeah, so
the other weird thing about my wife is that she is obsessed with Disney movies and Disney songs.
Is that because she's with the kids though? She watches it with the kids.
But she did that since she was a kid. Like she'll watch Disney movies by herself, which is fine. Like I love that. But then her being like just like I will not listen to musicals. I'm like,
that is
kind of the same thing.
They are.
Like,
they sing in Disney. That's all they do.
Like,
they
you
sing.
have to at least try Wicked or Rent. She's like, no, I don't fucking want to do it. I'm like, what is
really? Wicked was amazing.
Oh, I know.
love Wicked. Yeah.
I have Wicked.
You know what? I'll go with you. My Aaron doesn't like going, so I'll tell you what. You gotta be my.
I haven't been to a musical since I moved to Denver, so I haven't been in like 20 years.
I used to.
No, not 20 years. Fucking 15.
No, I used to go all the time.
Yeah.
The last one I went to was Book of Mormon.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I haven't even. So here's the thing. I haven't even listened to it because I don't want.
No, don't.
I want to see it first.
Yeah.
And
I'll go with you.
Impossible
to get to
go. Yeah, if you can track down tickets, I will go with you. But we better be my mom, or she will not watch my kids anymore.
It is. I mean, I was trying really, really hard to like not. I don't know why. I have friends that are Mormon. I don't know what they weren't there, so I don't know why. But I felt like, oh my gosh, and I would cover my mouth, like, oh, I can't laugh. And then I had two friends. Aaron and I went, and my two friends were like to the right in the other section, and they were like 2 rows ahead, so I could see him. And one of them, Walker, is a redhead, and I'm not joking. I looked over at him, and he was as red as the velvet seat he was sitting on because he was laughing so hard. And all of a sudden, is
he Mormon?
No. He was laughing so hard that I suddenly like. The gulp came out at the wrong time, so it wasn't like when everybody else was laughing. Everybody had just stopped laughing, and all of a sudden I was like, just totally. And then I was like, oh my
people are like, somebody just puked behind us.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god. I was trying. It hurt. It physically hurt to not laugh.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone just understand how like what comedy. Like they make me laugh at everything. I mean, this shit. Oh my god, the shit that South Park gets away with is astounding.
Yeah,
astounding. Like I can't. Like you can't watch it with kids. Like,
well, yeah, and that's what like there's
no swearing, but like, oh my god, I showed one episode of Family Guy too, and he did like and Grayson's just constantly asking for Family Guy now. I was like, I can't. There's
yeah, no.
He's about to be 6, so he's too young right now.
Well, see, but that's also a great age.
I know
it goes over their head.
Yeah,
it goes over their head because that's all. I mean, Colvin, we grew up here, right? So it's like he had the bus driver. He had, Mr. Garrison. He had,
That's because they're all based on real people.
Yeah. He got in trouble because he got in a lot of trouble in grade school. And then I felt horrible because I'm like, look, I can't control. It is what it is. It's funny. But speaking of South Park, did you happen to catch the South Park anniversary show at Red Rocks?
I almost worked it.
There's your mistake. Mine was Led Zeppelin.
No, but see, I wouldn't have seen it. I would have been driving around in giving waters to people.
Oh.
I would have worked it. I wasn't on camera.
Not joking. I'm in like the 10th row when Getty and I just went blank. Getty and help me, Noah, from Rush.
No idea.
Okay. Rush came out on.
I didn't see the concert.
I just said, and I'm gonna kill myself. I can't even say his name. So Rush.
I did see that clip.
And then I got Danny Carey sitting like 5 people away from me in the VIP, and I'm just like, I've got Les Claypool, I've got Ween, I've got Rush, and I've got Tool all in my radius. And it was like, I looked at my husband and I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, this might be too much. Because those are his like tools.
Yeah.
And
my brain is currently shutting down.
Yeah, he was like, my head's gonna pop off.
It's like the ultimate concert bubble right there.
It was really amazing. And then they were Ween started playing Buckingham Green. and which is such a beautiful, like amazing song. And they're on the stage. Everybody else is sitting down. And I mean, I'm 10 rows behind and I'm basically dead on from them. And I told you this, if you're ever recording a Shine and I'm ever dancing, do not record that, which Nigel, by the way, totally did not abide by that.
No, I think
last year.
there was footage that I used in the edit.
It's not good. It's the place.
You weren't full on dancing, but you
were
swaying back.
I was trying to be very, but I can't, but because I mean,
that's a new mission of mine now is catch that on film. It's you just letting go.
I can't dance normal anymore. I mean, I can't. The Grateful Dead ruined. That was in the 90s when I stopped my ability to be able to like dance at a wedding. I'm like, come on, let's just, it doesn't work.
Just because my main thing that I do is breakdancing, and like that only works in a very specific scenario.
I don't know if I could break dance, I might do that.
Well, I do it at weddings, but like it's like it has to be the right. It's not just like, oh, let's dance and I'll get on the floor. Like it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's funny.
It has to be like, I have to request a hip hop song, and then I'll actually do it, and then nobody else. Like it's just me and Shorty dancing, and then everybody's like, "You guys are cool." All right.
Okay.
That's done.
But I was so Buckingham Green comes on, and I am in my I am just in my moment. It's ugly. It's not pretty. I'm being moved by the music. I'm dancing. And all of a sudden, and I'm not really ever looking. I'm kind of most of the time my eyes are closed because I'm just like all over the place. And I open my eyes though, and I notice that they're pointing, like they got it. I look around, there's nothing. I'm like, they're pointing at me. And
on a Jumbotron.
Well, so that's what I started freaking out about. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm ruined. I'm never going to be able to dance again. So we watched it when it came out on Comedy Central. For the first time in my life, I was so glad that I am so short because Aaron, my husband, is boom right there. And you can't see me because I'm below everybody's shoulders. And I'm like ugly dancing. Like I'm sweating. I'm just insanely crazy dancing. And Aaron's, of course, just standing there, smiling, looking straight at the cloud.
Maybe I can find a clip of it and just grab your arm doing something.
I was so grateful. I'm like, I know they were trying to zoom in on me and they just didn't get me.
The director's like, motherfucker, we can't see her.
So I almost got sick, like just here's the moment. This is the moment. And then, oh, thank goodness. Like and Aaron was on the TV for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds. And I'm like, oh.
It's like the opposite. It's like, so you wanted not to be shown. It's like the opposite
I did not.
of Monsters, Inc. when Mike Wazowski is always behind the logo or something. And he's just like, I'm on a cover of a magazine.
That's exactly. It's like, no, I did not want that. I did not want that. And so, and that's the thing. It's like, I just want to create spaces where everybody feels comfortable letting their freak flag fly.
Right.
You know?
Like having these experiences, like everybody, even like, if you haven't been to a concert in a while because you think you can't, being able to have an experience like that.
Man, it's awesome. It's so awesome. Yeah. And I love that, I think it was you, maybe even somebody caught a great photo from 2021, Shine, that it was a woman who was able-bodied, and I hate saying that, but it's important for the story. The person next to her was blind, and they, all of a sudden, we didn't know how that was going to go. Remember, Noah, like, what if this doesn't go well? What if people dicks, what are we going to do? So, they, she suddenly, I think they were dancing or she was dancing, she realized, and then they were like, by the end, they were like laughing and, because the only difference between them was that one could see and one couldn't. And it didn't matter. It had nothing to do with, it didn't make any difference.
Yeah.
So, and there was a picture and they're just like smiling and laughing and having the best time. And
That's
I
so
just
funny.
always encourage people, if you look around your crew, which my husband says I mean, we've got a lot of people, so it's a crew. But
We
if
have
you
a
look
group
around
chat
your
on
peeps,
Facebook called The Crew.
there you go. Like, like when you have 90 some people in your
Oh, we don't have that many.
circle,
Yeah.
yeah. When you rent
You got a
motor
crew,
coach
yeah.
buses to drive you to a show because that's how many people you have
That's
with
so
you.
fun, though.
Yeah, oh, it's the best.
Best.
And but that is it's this, I don't even know what in the world I was saying. It was something about I was talking
When you
about
have
I
a
got
lot of
all
people.
excited about, like, I started thinking about, oh yeah, and the crew. That's what it was. If you're like looking around at the people in your immediate circle and everybody looks the same and everybody, kind of, man, I'm telling you what, add some color, some sprinkles to that vanilla ice cream because it is awesome.
Yeah.
And I did have some people tell me that, hey, I want to thank you. You made me realize that, wait a minute, why don't I know anybody that's in a wheelchair? Or why don't I know anybody that's blind? And Alexi Bader, the model and snowboarder girl who was at Shine last year, said that. She's like, I didn't really hang out with people with disabilities before she became disabled.
Mm.
And I think that I think that's a big thing. I think
No, I
it's,
think
I
that's
think
good.
in
I think
general,
I mean, not saying, it sounds weird to say like something to work on, but like, yeah, like getting,
go
you know,
find, put an want ad in Craigslist.
looking for friends.
Yeah. I mean, just like, that's the one thing that also, that not only, Shine does a lot of things. It's not only is it a great time and just arts and music and food and fun, but it gives you the opportunity to meet all kinds of different people.
Mhm.
And my life is so enhanced and rich from the people that I have met through Shine. And I wouldn't change it for anything.
Oh, I mean, you're the most alive I've ever seen you, and like you're just having an absolute blast. And no, it's made all of us who've been part of it has made us grow. And it's been a pleasure to have the experience.
Yeah, it's all a lot of, I'm hoping that this year is the year that it kind of really takes hold.
Yeah.
And, that we can, constantly dialing for dollars. We waste so much time dialing for dollars.
Yeah.
And so,
That actually leads into a perfect question that I had, which was in the prep of it. You've had a lot of, pretty high profile meetings with like big companies like Pepsi.
Mhm.
What's it like for somebody that like maybe wanted to put together an event or something and wants to get like a high profile sponsor? What tip would you give for going into a meeting with them?
alignment,
Mm,
alignment. If you're going after a company just because they have money,
right.
it's great. I mean, it is. You're grateful for those checks, right? But one, they're never going to be the size of the checks that you want them to be, because they don't get it. They don't
Right.
care. Um,
That's the alignment.
yeah,
Come out
yeah,
when when they actually really care about it.
yeah. So just think about what your mission is, what your, what are you trying to accomplish with it? What's the long-term goal? Shine's long-term goal isn't having an annual music festival in Denver. Shine's long-term goal is to create Shine music festivals all over the world, where it's taking the communities that serve individuals with disabilities and everybody else in the music scene, right? And creating spaces. And by doing that, you're enhancing and strengthening your communities. So that's the overall goal. And so ask yourself that question. And I think that's important in anything, right? Whether you're content, whether you're doing a video, whether you're writing a blog,
Yeah.
is if you're just writing for the sake of writing, or you're just putting content out there just because you have to, it's probably not going to land.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to land. So,
No, I mean that makes even with like with this podcast, I a couple years ago tried to, I kind of had gotten a podcast going that was for course creators because that was my answer to COVID. And it was pretty much purely money based. And like in terms of like promote, I wanted help creators to make, bring more people to my courses. But this one now, shit, I was just looking at the list of friends that I've made that are creators and creatives that I just want to chat with, and like it's long. And this is super fun, and I get to, hang out with cool people, and this may turn into money eventually, but like it's just a fun thing to do, and just where to put my energy with it. No, I think alignment is something you just, if you're psyched about it, then it's gonna work.
Yep. I mean, because it carries through. You can tell. You remember that back in the day when we were doing our, when we met at our coaching, because we were too poor to afford individual coaching, so we did it in a group setting. Let's be honest. That's really what it was. We just couldn't afford the one-on-one time. So,
It's a good service.
it was a great service. I mean, it was awesome because we learned so much from each other. But remember we had to write down write down everything that you have to do every day, like whether it's answering a phone, emails, you name it, your bills, all the things you need to do with your business, and then rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 meaning either you hate it or you suck at it, and 10 being you love it or you're really good at it. And if it's anything below, so 1 through 4, you're never going to do good at it. It's never going to work. And so if you're writing blogs or you're doing content or you're doing videos and podcasts and it's in that 1 to 4 rank for you, you are just wasting your time, because it comes off. It's in the tone. It's in everything.
Yep.
And I mean, you can see it. You start talking to me about web development. This is a whole different conversation. And I'm just like, I'm probably checking my email while we're.
You know what's funny is I had a couple of questions planned for that, and I just realized about halfway through that it's not going to happen.
Well, I will tell you that I really don't do it anymore.
Oh, there you go.
I got really excited about accessibility, obviously, and so I spent all of 2020, half of 2020 and 2021, 257 hours of training to become a trusted web tester through the Department of Homeland Security Office of Accessible Systems and Technology. And I got really excited. Yeah, I was like all really excited. And I got in Microsoft, Adobe, and web certified accessibility tester. And I went back to my clients and I was like, oh my gosh, look, we can make sure all of your stuff is accessible. And they didn't care.
What?
And
Hey, this is again why I love the podcast, because I'm genuinely like, what does accessibility in a website mean? Like, what do you, like, give me a couple of things that like you test for.
Well, a big one is not all individuals can use a mouse. So your website needs to be tabbable. And not only by tabbable, you need to be able to see where you're at so that it highlights the content. A lot of times I can go into a website and I'll start at the URL and it literally tabs to the bottom. Like it skips all the content. Alt tags, if you don't have, you have to have meaningful descriptions in your links. Yeah. So if you have a click here, click here, click here, click here, learn more all on your website, if that's all, how do they know what it is that they're clicking on? So those are little things like this.
Go through I'm kind of doing a revamp on mine right now, so that again I can
I owe you
from Google, so I will have to have you take a look at that. That would be great.
Yeah. So I fired all my clients December 31st, 2021.
I'm gonna say congrats.
Thank you. My accountant was like, no. I'm like, it doesn't bring me joy. It doesn't. It's like the Family Guy episode. It doesn't bring me joy. And I got rid of everything. So
just yelling Marie Kondo at him, just like, it doesn't spark joy. Shut up. It doesn't spark joy. It's like you need money.
Yeah, I do need money. But
honestly, the money will come when you follow the happiness.
I believe it. I believe it.
We were going over expenses from our accounting stuff from like last year, and Shorty literally goes, how are we surviving? And I was like, I don't know, but we have been, and we're following our paths to make us happy, and that's all. Like, it will get better eventually. And because
are you getting better though? I was actually okay, and now
the summer's starting to ramp up a little bit. I got a couple of better clients come in, and I've been driving Uber a little bit to fill the gaps, which has been great.
My car died in December.
Oh,
So
no.
I can't even, yeah. So, and then I'm like, well, it's not a great time to buy a car and da da da.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and living
No,
up
but I
in the
mean,
mountains, it
just
doesn't work. I wanted,
following it is that's the thing is like that. I mean, this is the big conversation. This whole fucking podcast, honestly, is like this is the take a dive into doing something that you love because doing work, doing anything that you don't enjoy just for money sucks ass.
yeah,
And you have one life to live, that we know of, and it's why would you waste that's so dumb to waste any of it. So even and that's the thing, even driving Uber, I can listen to music, I can watch games, like
yeah,
it's still a fun time. Like if people are chatty, it's cool to chat with people. um and then other than that, I'm talking to amazing people, I'm doing work that I love, like we're just making it by. But I guarantee, like, that's the other thing too with our friend group, pretty much all of them are blue collar workers and are just like, oh,
yeah,
I gotta fucking work. I'm just like, it's so weird to have like just go through life with that attitude. And I love them and they're great people, but I'm real quiet on their career choices.
yeah, yeah,
It won't help anything.
yeah. I have to
I
have
need my
faith.
time freedom. I need my time freedom. I have to
Yeah,
have it.
yeah, 100%. And I have faith in it. I know that it all, nothing worthwhile is ever easy, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. You probably don't watch AGT, but I love watching AGT. And
I'll see clips occasionally.
and I I love watching the whole, oh my gosh, like the first time Cody Lee sang, it was like, are you kidding me? It was so crazy. But
It's a good place to find maybe some people for Shine, honestly.
well, it's funny, by the time they get in there, then they're contractually like, they're like super
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
But Lily Miola, who was on, I want to say, it was on 2022. She has a song called Daydream, and I listen to it probably every day.
Nice.
And it's like, if it doesn't scare the hell out of you, then it's not it.
Mhm.
And like live your daydream. Why, don't save your daydream for like nighttime and dream. Like live your daydream. It's a daydream. Live it.
It's always the question that I ask when people are like kind of going for a career change. Is like, then they're like, well, I'm like, what do you want to do? Like, I have no idea. And I'm like, well, cool. What do you do like on the weekends, or like, what are your hobbies? Okay, cool. You need to figure a way to monetize your hobby. And like, cause that was what I was just filming random shit for years until my buddy Brian, who I'll have on the podcast eventually, was like, hey, you're good enough to do this professionally. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. And that's what's got that's what got Snowman Film started and everything. But I was literally just like, I just always have a camera in my hand because I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not, I mean, it's, everybody thinks it's cliche, right? Do what you love what you do. It's like, no, really.
People that
man.
shit on that, I don't want to be friends with.
I know. It's like, and I get it. I mean, there are some, I was having that conversation with someone yesterday, that there's part of me, I would be lying to say that if I didn't acknowledge there's part of me that wishes that I knew how to play the game with my mouth shut, because there are people who I worked with, my peers who are now, making $250,000 a year
Right.
base pay, because they didn't speak their mind. They didn't speak their truth. They did what they were told, and now in the corporate world,
But I wonder how much. So yes, you may be getting good pay, but I guarantee you they are killing themselves on hours more than that, more than they're getting paid for. Because that's always how it works. You always, if you're doing well, they ask you to go above and beyond, and they don't raise your pay, or you get to that. But anyway, I don't make $250,000 a year yet, but I can go play hockey on Fridays when I want to.
yeah, yeah,
Like a time,
that's
I'm
true.
telling you, the time freedom, like and listen, you and I both have had some months where you make 10 grand. Like,
Yeah,
if when it's good, it's good, and then I just need to be better at filling the gaps for when it's not
yeah,
good, which is
yeah,
my one thing.
yeah,
But no, hopefully Google will help with that, with getting the website more, have more people coming to me.
yeah,
But no, I mean it's again, you are the being. I think it'll probably be out before this episode because I'm gonna do start doing these crafting creativity kind of rants as the other like parts of this podcast. But my first one is literally about being the hero of your own life's movie.
Yeah.
Like you need to be in charge of it. You're in charge of it. So fucking go. What would the hero of the movie do right now?
Yeah. You are legitimately the superhero of your movie.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
That's it. And if you're not, if you're not living with main character energy, you need to start living with main character energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because main character energy is what stands out.
Yeah. Don't be a B-roll in your own life.
Yeah.
Look at me. I learned a word. Don't be a supporting actor in your own life.
Don't be the B. No, I love that. Oh my God, I love that. Don't be the B-roll. Be the A-roll, not the B. Okay, this is a soundbite. Here we go. Be the A-roll in your life, not the B-roll, even though A-roll's not a thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is A-roll a thing? Yeah. Don't
be the talking head in your life, not the B-roll.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah. It's pretty. It sounds really easy, right? But it isn't. It's no. You got to capture someone and say, wait a second, did I just slip into the a supporting role, or am I still the lead character here?
Yeah.
And
if you're not making decisions from that, then that's a huge thing to kind of wake up on.
Yeah.
This has been, oh my God. Gotta wrap it up because I got some other stuff happening. But I wanted to, before we go, roll out the red carpet for you. Tell everybody what you got going on in your life.
Yeah. Well, we have the third Shine Music Festival on August 26th in Denver Civic Center Park. And we are we're hoping to still come up with the funding to pull off the world record.
Oh yeah.
So we already got the numbers. We already do that. It's all about the money. It's always about the money. And if it doesn't come, then it wasn't meant to be. I'm not doing.
Keep pushing forward.
Yeah, I'm not doing the world record because it's an accolade. I'm doing the world record because I want to encourage people to break it all day long.
Every
year, I want that thing to be broken all over the place. So
well, no, but I love that because that's kind of a cool thing to like attach to it, to keep like that's another thing to keep the kind of the goal and the mission of it going.
Yeah. That's it, man. It's never been about one event. It's been about changing the world. And I know that's, me. I think big.
This is the most changing the world thing I've ever been a part of. I make videos and that's fun, but like this is like big world mission kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So no, I love it and I'm on board as always and we're going to do it. And
I appreciate you. You've been by my side since the day it came out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate you. And, several tequila shots in when I used to be super, I could talk up a storm in a moment that red light turned on. I was like,
filming the Shine promos with Shawn was let's call it an experience. I think when we finally got it, she was 4 tequila shots and 2 hits of weed in.
I was definitely trying. We were trying everything. I was like, I cannot. I'm freaking out.
Because you didn't even have to. Was it a teleprompter or no? I don't remember.
No, there wasn't. No, all I had to do was say the same stuff I always say.
Yeah. And
then I was like, I was being all like,
words out of her mouth.
We're here today. I was being all like professional, and it just was not being. I wasn't being my true, authentic self. I was not being the lead role in my movie.
If anybody, exactly.
Man, I was just so I don't know, and I would be laughing and totally spit it right out, and then as soon as that red light would come on, I would just be like. Oh.
And the fact that and you can find it. It's on the Shine YouTube. Yeah,
it is on the Shine YouTube.
And the fact that it plays smoothly means that I am good at my job.
You are really good at your job because there's a lot. I think we had like take 40.
Yeah,
it was not good.
It cuts away from your face a lot.
Yeah. It was just, oh man, I could not. Yeah, I could not. I couldn't do it. And now I'm all right. I can do it now. But
anyway, so what was the date again?
August 26th.
August 26th, Civic Center Park.
Yep.
Be there and
we're
gonna have
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. Be a part. Come and have fun. There's gonna be lots of food, lots of art, lots of interactive stuff to do, and a whole lot of great music.
Hell yes.
So,
And thanks for listening and watching. And thank you, Shawn, for everything. Love you bunch. And I will see you guys on the next episode.